I'm joined up in the announcer's booth by Evie Tubbs-Sweeney, the United States voting representative for the Heritage Arabian Racing Club. And Evie, it's great to have you at Arapahoe Park, the first race in this series. Can you tell us a little bit about what HARC is?
HARC, the Heritage Arabian Racing Club, is a vision of His Highness Sheikh Sultan from Abu Dhabi, who noticed that there was a shrinking gene pool in the sport of Arabian racing globally. And so he wants to offer added money incentives to specific bloodlines who can expand our gene pool. So we're super excited to be here at Arapahoe Park. This is the very first HARC race in the United States, and followed by a series around the country. And so we'll see what happens.
The program started overseas. When did it start, and what countries does it currently reside in?
So it started last year, so it's a fairly new program. It's in, I believe, 11 different countries around the world, many in the Middle East, many in South America, many in Europe, and the USA. And it offers in the USA an added money incentive of $4,000 per race. There will be 5 HARC races around the country this year, and that money is divided between the owner and the breeder of the top 3 finishers of HARC horses. So they don't necessarily have to come in the top 3. They just need to will be ranked in the order of finish by HARC horses. In this case today, we have 1 HARC horse racing. That means that this horse, the owner and the breeder, get the entire $4,000 amount. And that's super exciting because the owner is the breeder. The horse that will be running today representing HARC is Darton Chris SWA. Represents pure Polish bloodlines and is trained by Ken Danilak and owned and bred by Dr. Jim Wetzel. So he's going to have a good day today.
And Darton Chris SWA in the paddock is warming up for this race. And the Arabian breed, it's the breed that founded the thoroughbred bloodline with the 3 grandsires, the Darley Arabian, the Byerly Turk, and the Godolphin Barb. For the HARC series, how does a horse become eligible for the HARC series?
So they have identified a handful of bloodlines around the world who they have recognized as being the dominant gene pools in the global sport of Arabian racing. If a horse has those bloodlines excluded from their pedigree in any generation, it can't have any of those horses in any part of its pedigree, then they are eligible for the HARC money, and they go through a nomination process with HARC.
So it's to expand the potential horses that could be running to bring more Arabian horses and horsemen to the United States. Where can people find more information about the HARC program?
They can go to www.harchorses.com. That's HARC horses.com.
So harchorses.com, the first HARC race in the United States. And thank you for explaining a little bit about the program, and looking forward to the first race and our continued partnership with many of the different Arabian racing series around the world. And this race is being broadcast live in Abu Dhabi, so an international audience is joining us as well. And so we'll see if Darton Chris SWA can not only represent the HARC program, but do well in this race. And we'll go back to the paddock to look at the field for this race, and we'll preview the 6 furlong allowance field. There is a field of 7 lining up, and the current favorite is number 4, Thoroughleap, who comes out of the Cobra Distaff Sprint, 5th place finish in that race. We'll next take a look at number 6, Miss Paradise, who also ran in the Cobra Distaff Sprint, 4th place finish. So those 2 horses coming out of Stakes Company. And then number 5, WMAC Sand, and a good 3rd place finish at allowance level. So those are some of the contenders for this race as they now come on to the track for race number 3, an Arabian allowance race that is the first race in the United States. On the track for race number 3 for Arabians. Post time is in 8 minutes at 1:50. Allowance contest at 6 furlongs for fillies and mares with a field of 7. This is the first race in the United States for the new Heritage Arabian Racing Club Series. Introducing the field of 7. Number 1 is Junia, a maiden who's owned and trained by Kenny Massey, and the jockey is Justine Kleber. Number 2, Fleur d'Amour, owned by Dennis and Paulette Hughes. Mark Culo conditions. Tracy Hebert is in the saddle. Number 3, Dart and Chris SWA, a HARC-eligible horse, bred and owned by James Wetzel Jr., the trainers Ken Daniluk and the rider Alfredo Triana Jr. Number 4, Thoroughleap, represents owner Krista Henningsgaard, trainer Mark Culo, and jockey Jeff Smith. Number 5, WMA Seasand, is owned by Roland Grapp, conditioned by Ken Daniluk, and the jockey is Efren Prado. Number 6, Miss Paradise, owned and trained by Mark Powell and ridden by Mike Luark. And for the Mark Powell team, number 7, first-time starter My Dixie, ridden by Anselmo Padilla. The 2 horses to load to the outside, both owned and trained by Mark Powell. Miss Paradise, recently 4th in the Cobra Distaff Sprint, and My Dixie completes the line. Gates open. The Heritage Arabian Racing Club is underway in the United States. Junia broke last, but is now hustled along to try to contend for the early lead that is currently held by WMA Seasand. WMA Seasand now crosses over to the rail a length and a half in front of Miss Paradise in the black cap. Junia in the red is in third, 3 lengths behind the leader. And the other 4 tightly bunched in behind. Thoroughleap racing together with the first-time starter My Dixie. Dart and Chris SWA is second last, and Fleur d'Amour is the trailer, with 7 lengths front to back as they leave the backstretch behind them and move into the far turn. And it's WMA Seasand and Efren Prado who've kicked 2 lengths in front of Miss Paradise in her slipstream in second, and then Junia progressing forward into third, followed by Thoroughleap, and then comes Fleur d'Amour. The HARC-eligible horse Dart and Chris SWA is in 6th, and My Dixie 7th and last as they pass the quarter pole and turn for home, and WMA Seasand floating wide into the home stretch, whereas Miss Paradise cut the corner. Miss Paradise saving ground has now grabbed the lead. Junia, the maiden, is out after her. They race towards the final furlong, and now Junia takes over for Justine Kleber from Miss Paradise, and then Fleur d'Amour in third place inside the final furlong, and Junia with the advantage. Junia starting to inch away, and Junia, a first career win in the first HARC race in the United States, defeating Miss Paradise, and then came Fleur d'Amour and Thoroughleap. The final time for 6 furlongs, 1 minute, 21.51 seconds.